Well, I imagine you might run into somebody who either denies that it's happening or has no problem. Obviously, I'm aware of it, and it matters to me, and I have a 13-year-old daughter, so part of the reason I pay attention to it is I'm aware that she's going to be growing up in a world that's, hopefully will get no worse than it already is.
Oh my God, it is so hot out here. Oh jeez, it's so cold out here. No, I don't know, climate change is definitely something that affects the world. I want to say all of us, because it's even greater than that. There are major problems going on with our environment and our climate. There's been more extraordinary climate situations in the last 5 years than in the rest of humanity combined. Don't ask me where I get my statistics from. It's okay. It's obvious.
Certainly there's no question that the climate has changed in the past several years, and it sounds like it's going to continue to change for the worse. I think the more we can work on renewable resources, but I guess I also feel like they aren't going to be magic either. It's really like, as human beings are delving into all the technology, also carries all the seeds of our own destruction, even though we try to use it for prosperity and building and growth. But I think we need to live voluntarily poor. That's what we need to do. I'm part of the Catholic Worker Movement, and that's one of the things we talk about is voluntary poverty. We try to live as simply as we can. And I think as an entire society in the United States, we have to simplify how we live, try to be not so dependent on fossil fuels and plastics and chemicals, but I mean, it's the air that we breathe, is that kind of environment. But like I say, the seeds of our own destruction are in that, and somehow we have to keep seeking to find ways to live with less and less and less. And rather than always talking about economic growth, how can we live with economic shrinking, and leave as small a footprint as we can.
Whether the winters are longer or the summers are more severe or the water is less clean, I think it's pretty evident that it's real, and I think it's there.
Well, I think it's very critical that we do something, that we really start to focus on it, because we're not, we haven't been, and people are more, as witness of the march, where was that last fall? Yeah, the big march. Many more people seem to be involved, which is a good thing. What we need is a large number of people that are really focused on it. I mean, the scientists have told us what's going on.
Climate change is here. The world is heating up. The polar ice cap is melting. The water is rising. We saw that dramatically when we had our flood a few years ago. And it means wake up, everyone, wake up.
Responsible is really what it comes down to. So whether you're recycling or you don't leave the water on, or you don't leave all your electricity running all the time and your air conditioner running all the time. These are all things I think most people can do, and I do.
Besides support, anything I can support that has to do with making people more aware. There's not a lot to do in the city, really. You can send money to what you think is the best organization. I do that. I sometimes wear a button if I'm in the mood, or I put that kind of a stamp on my envelope. But I'd be interested in what you think we can do here in the city, and I certainly recycle and try to take care of the earth every way I can, but I don't think that really affects climate change. I don't have a car. I'm lucky. I live in the city. I feel sad every time I buy a plane ticket thinking of all that pollution of the air, but we really have accepted that these days. You know, we do fly.
Well, I think, yeah, just keep in touch with your Congress people. You can join groups that are involved in trying to deal with it. And support those groups either by, you can also support them financially if you're able to do that. You know, those are some of the things you can do. And you can demonstrate if it comes along or march as it happened last fall. But I think it's growing. I'm concerned about it's growing because things have happened and scare people, frankly. And people are scared, then they start to act.
I think climate change is a very serious issue, and I feel like more people should be aware, especially the younger generation. The changes that I've made to help towards the climate is recycle more, and I actually like to email instead of writing stuff. So since I'm a writer, instead of writing stuff on notepad paper, I usually just email it to myself now, just to keep the climate and the world and everything that's going on in the back of my head.